lazy morning to all cosmonauts and specifically to the Celestia community. We're going to talk about this in a second. But first off, Bitcoin 72,000. We had a great start into this week. As we are approaching the Bitcoin halving, we are only 10 days away, a couple thousand blocks, around 1700 blocks from the Bitcoin halving to occur, which is the biggest fundamental that Bitcoin has integrated into the blockchain code. If we look also at the ETF flows, we can see that on Friday, before the weekend, we saw a huge inflow on the BlackRock ETF, namely 308 million, which not only absorbed the grayscale 200 million outflows, but also led to a $200 million net inflow as of April 5. And also, I think we're about to witness the flippening, which is that BlackRock actually overtakes Grayscale and becomes the largest ETF provider in the world for a Bitcoin spot ETF. So that's a bit of housekeeping. I think overall, we're starting very strong into this new week, as we are also in halving month, literally just 10 days away. So I think, yeah, everything is set for a nice halving rally. If we look more specifically into customers, we can see Atom above $11, Akash $4.49, Archway 70 cents, Axelar 164. Overall, nothing much happening, no real huge outbreaks. We saw Kanto up 19%, Secret 12%, Kudos 11%, Stargaze 9%. We're going to talk a little bit about Stargaze today as well. But yeah, overall, nothing much is happening. Quasar keeps going up 26 cents. I talked to you about it after this whale purchase a couple of days ago. We now saw also ProtoRef that was used to buy back and burn QSR tokens, which decreases the supply and obviously also caused this pump here the other day. There are a couple of live proposals right now on the Cosmos Hub and Atom. You saw the prices around $11, something like that. But yeah, something needs to happen, right? Something needs to evolve for the Cosmos Hub. And I think there are a couple of proposals that might actually revive a lot of the excitement for developers around the Cosmos Hub, right? I talked a lot about Asteroids and how it revives community culture and retail engagement, right? Asteroids is an inscriptions protocol, which is highly engaging for the community. But what about the developers, right? And I think this proposal, 895, also to my surprise, is actually seeing huge support. So as of right now, this proposal will pass. And in fact, it will only be there for a couple more hours. So 8 a.m. tomorrow morning here, Dubai time. Now it's already afternoon here, Dubai. So literally a couple hours remaining. And this is actually going to happen, which is honestly great to see, right? I think after the Atom 1 fork, GovChain already launched. Atone is about to launch, but I'm also not super plugged into the hottest and latest news there. But the Atom 1 fork basically means that the opposition, which is Jquan, Tendermint, AIB, some OG validators that believe in hub minimalism, they forked away, which means now Cosmos Hub and Atom have clear pathways to actually become more innovative, more aggressive, and also more functional in terms of what the hub can actually do. And bringing permissioned CosmWasm, which means gate-capped smart contracts. So there's a big difference between permission and permissionless. Permissionless means everyone can upload whatever. Permission means it's gate-capped by governance, which also means it's a lot less vulnerable to any sort of exploits or bugs or anything the like. We see permissionless CosmWasm, for example, implemented on chains like Neutron or Juno. And now we're going to see permission CosmWasm. As it looks like, this is just a signaling proposal, though. Keep that in mind. This is not an executing code, right? It's just a text proposal. Is that what the community wants? And now the community is signaling, yes, we want that. There will be a subsequent proposal that will cause a network upgrade and give validators also the time to prepare for that, right? But it's then just a formality, especially with such a big support from the community. Anyways, that's about that. Big proposal that's going to pass here. So that's surprising and very, very positive in my view for the Cosmos Hub. Then we also have this proposal about ICS 2.0 partial set security, which is going to onboard 4 new consumer chains, namely Aether, which is an EVM chain, Illis Network, which is a perp stacks, Landslide Network, which enables restaking for Avalanche for AVAX, and fourth also Lorenzo Protocol, which is going to enable Bitcoin restaking powered by Babylon technology. Very, very strong 4 consumer chains that will be going live once partial set security is implemented. Note here that this is also a signaling proposal, so it will take a couple more weeks for the actual code then to be integrated. And then the last one here that's currently also on a trajectory to pass is DCF's Agoric Cosmos Hub proposal to basically bootstrap and boost IST, Inter-Stable Token liquidity across Cosmos DeFi. We have a content partnership with Interprotocol, so I also kept you posted in detail about what Interprotocol is, how IST works, how is the collateralization mechanism, how you can mint IST, and also how there's a lot of upside on their UX, which is also in the works. But yeah, this, in my view, is also a no-brainer proposal. And there was also spaces recently where they talked about the ratio between liquid staking with Stride and P-Stake, and also the Atom Wars and liquidity as a service, right, with TimeWave and other projects. So if you're an avid Cito subscriber and viewer, you know what I'm talking about. If not, I strongly recommend you to watch my previous videos about Interprotocol, about liquidity as a service, to understand these concepts, because this is actually an important proposal here that is also about to pass. We still are a bit away from quorum, but I think it's also just a formality. Now, Wikix, who is one of the biggest atom bulls here and has been sticking around through the bear market, also been around a long time in Cosmos, he's saying 895 prop winning is more than bringing permission Cosmos to the hub. It's a message to the world that the hub is no longer chained to old powers, a message that the hub is open for business. And that is exactly what it is. Now, one of the biggest bombs that dropped over the past couple of days here in Cosmos is actually Celestine Sloth Society. I talked to you about it in the beginning. Lazy Morning, LM, that's the new meme in Cosmos right now, because this thing pulled 160x in just 2 days. Absolutely mind-blowing. The way it worked is basically there was a whitelist on Stargaze, and that whitelist was for TIA stakers. So if you were a TIA staker, you were eligible to mint yourself and Celestine Sloth. And the mint price was, I think, around $10. And now you can see that the floor price right now is 76,000 stars, or $2,200. So that's actually a 223x return right there within 2 days. Congratulations if you managed to mint yourself one. Congratulations if you managed to buy yourself one early, because this is actually created by Occlusion, which is the company from Zaki Mania, an absolute OG in Cosmos. And also this has endorsement from Nick White, the co-founder of Celestia, as well as other builders, developers, content creators, you name it. And the volume are just mind-blowing, right? 10 million stars. If you actually go right now and you see at the 7-day volume, this thing, and it's not even been around for 7 days, this thing has 28 million stars in volume, just surpassed Bad Kids. There's also huge meta around Celestine Sloth Society basically being the new base for airdrops in the Celestia ecosystem. That's also probably why it's pumping so hard and no one is selling. And Celestine Sloth might actually be the next big and important airdrop collection to hold if you want to maximize eligibility for airdrops, right? I personally didn't get to mint one. I personally didn't buy one yet, but I will probably buy one today or tomorrow. I just didn't get to do that yet, but I will definitely get myself at least one, maybe 2 or 3 slots here on Stargaze. Next up, we have a big month, right? This is also now a new week. We're going to have a big token launch, actually probably one of the largest token launches ever this year. We're going to have it tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. But we also have Initia, right? I talked to you about it the other day as well. Initia is also a modularity project that's part of the Celestia ecosystem, and they are going to launch their public testnet, I think, in the next week or 2. So keep an eye out for Initia. Also remember that there's this huge conference month here now in Dubai this month with Token 2049, and a lot of these big chains have huge announcements, right? Also Mantra, they actually just announced that they're going to launch the Hongbai public testnet, and they're soon going to launch mainnet as well. And Mantra is doing an OM airdrop, 50 million tokens to the Cosmos community, mostly Atom stakers, but also Bad Kids and BitKit NFT holders. Maybe now they're also adding Celestine Sloth, who knows? But yeah, Mantra is also one of the most highly anticipated launches in the tokenization and RWA field for Cosmos this year. And 50 million tokens means more than 40 million US dollars will be airdropped to the Cosmos Hub community for this token, the OM token, which is already listed on exchanges such as Binance, OKX, Gate.io, and so on and so forth. So keep an eye out for that as well. Also, Initia, like I said, they also have big news soon. They're also invested by Binance Labs, so that's obviously always great to see. Lava is another one to keep a close eye on this month, maybe even this week. And they have some large announcements and are very soon going to launch their token. So LavaNet is definitely one that you need to familiarize yourself with. This is also going to be a big impactful launch in Cosmos this year. And yeah, they're about to actually launch, right? This is the modular access layer for Web3, an RPC infrastructure provider. We're also early investors into LavaNet with Stakesito, and we're also running validated infrastructure. The same actually counts for Mantra as well, right? We're not investors in Mantra, but we are running a validator in Mantra, right? We're going to join their network as well. And now we obviously have the biggest launch this week, this month, maybe even this year, which is Saga. And Saga is a chain I've been sharing with you for the past, I don't know, 2 years now. I've also been an early private investor into Saga, and I'm very, very excited for this because they're filling a huge gap. They're filling the gaming gap in Cosmos, and they have already more than 350 projects in their ecosystem throughout multiple cohorts, right? I kept you posted throughout the years. We literally tracked this project from zero to now getting listed on Binance tomorrow. And they're not just getting listed on Binance, but they have this huge launch pool campaign going on where Binance users can farm to get Saga tokens. The initial supply will actually be 9%, right? And 9% from a billion tokens means 90 million tokens will be launched primarily on Binance. At least that's where it's starting with, right? So this is going to be the initial starting supply when getting listed on Binance, which is happening tomorrow. The launch pool already started on April 5th. There's also good content here around what Saga actually is and does and how it also works, the whole architecture. Because Saga itself is an L1, but they also implement shared security. They are VM agnostic and parallelized, which also means that there's going to be this huge ecosystem of so-called chainlets that will connect to Saga, right? Which also means these 350 projects, which are now basically going to become chainlets, they might also airdrop their tokens to Saga stakers. Also mentioned to you, they have partnerships with Polygon, Avalanche, MarbleX, Come to Us, and Celestia. So this is very interesting. Come to Us, by the way, if you don't know them, this is basically a team that's behind Xpla, which is also a gaming chain in Cosmos that is already live, that is also trading at 22 cents right now, which I think implies, yeah, $400 million market cap. And Saga, like I said, they're exclusively launching on Binance, and they made a new record. And that record is $13 billion that were basically deposited to earn Saga tokens. And this is absolutely insane, crazy numbers. So yeah, and this is just within 2 or 3 days, right? So Saga, very, very excited. There's also already a listing here on CoinGecko. Still in preview mode only. But yeah, this is going to go live tomorrow. And so also does hopefully the Saga airdrop. And speaking of airdrops, Saga itself made a tweet on how many confirmed airdrops Saga stakers will get. And to be honest, I think it's going to be the highest on this list here. Everything else wouldn't make a lot of sense. And yeah, that's also the one I voted for. And 100 plus seems fair in relation to the 350 projects that are launching. If only a third of them launched their own token, that means, 100 plus airdrops. So very, very exciting. This is going to be an interesting, and maybe, they have the Celestia effect where upon listing, depends obviously where the initial price is, where it lands. I personally think anything below $2 is interesting to buy. Anything below $1 is probably a strong buy, or on, let's say, 50 cents is a strong, clear buy in my view. That's where I would buy and will buy a lot. If it launches around 50 cents, I will buy a lot of Saga. If it launches above $5 to $6, I think I wouldn't be surprised, but it would be already relatively high. If it launches above $10, I think then we will first see a little bit of a correction before it then goes down. I think if it launches around $3 to $4, it could do a similar move like TIA, maybe not go up to $20, but maybe, hover around between $8 and $12. Depends how things are, right? Because also the initial circulating supply is very, very low, right? 90 million tokens. So that means if it goes to $10, it only had a $900 million market cap and would still be kind of somewhere on bottom of page 1, right, on CoinGecko. And if we compare it to Wormhole, for example, Wormhole now has a $10 billion fully diluted. So that would mean $10 per Saga if Saga would reach that same level. And actually they came down now from $1.50, $1.60. So it will be $15, $16 per Saga token, which I think would be a lot, to be honest. But also, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised, right? Keep in mind that also they have the double the amount of circulating tokens in relation to Saga, right? Anyways, wild stuff. So if Saga actually reached a 1.8 billion market cap based on circulating, that would imply $20 per Saga. I think that would be a lot, but it's also crypto. Who knows, right? Finally, 2 more things. Number 1, mad scientists, they launched just now on StreamSwap, which is my favorite place for launching tokens. I think this is the best place to launch, to bootstrap liquidity and have an initial price discovery and price finding. And they just raised around 2.4 million Osmo, which is around $3 million, with a final price of 1 lab for 32 Osmo or $42 US. And yeah, ever since that thing launched here, the price went up even further, right? $82 right now, 61 Osmo. So you're up almost 2x here from the mint, from the bootstrapping event on StreamSwap. And obviously this is a huge experiment. The way it works is basically that you could get these lab tokens, which are fungible tokens, and then you need 10 lab tokens in order to mint a mad scientist NFT. And yeah, this is how it works. And yeah, there's also information here more about the mint, mad NFTs. There's 10,000 of them, total supply. And yeah, the ratio is 10 lab for 1 mad. So that's fun to see, and also love the branding here. Obviously, this is very Osmo native, osmosis native. And lastly, also some updates from Hava coin. I talked to you about it last week. I think they had a bit of a shaky week because they had their 24-hour window open for the opt-in. Then they closed it. Then they launched it again for 3 hours for Leap Wallet users only. And then they decided to actually redistribute unclaimed tokens, the vast majority, to those who opted in, but also reserve some part of the tokens to allocate, to just distribute to those that were eligible but didn't opt in, right? So if you opted in or not, if you claimed the airdrop or not, you're still getting Hava tokens. And yeah, now apparently they're launching this long-term staking campaign, and also they mentioned something here about StreamSwap. So they might be next up to launch on StreamSwap. Honestly, I don't know if they can replicate what mad scientists here did, or the lab token basically. 2.4 million, that's a huge yeah, anchor that they set here. But let's see what Hava can achieve. But in the end of the day, you should never have any expectations, like I always say, especially when it comes to meme coins or these exotic launches, right, or locking up liquidity, right? I think this is all experimental, and that's why I love this theme here from mad scientists, right? It's all an experiment. That's all it is, right? I think this is literally their tagline here. Everything is an experiment. So that's what it is. I think it's a great way to end today's video, which I hope you found value-packed as always. Big week ahead, like I said, Saga launch tomorrow. That's going to be a big launch, probably one of the biggest launches this year in Cosmos. And then we have the conference month coming up here in Dubai. So watch out for more announcements. Lava Network launching, meme coins left and right, airdrops left and right, and so on and so forth. I'll see you guys tomorrow, and I hope until then you stay safe and be good.